All right. Hi, everybody. My name is David. I'm the community development lead here at MakerDAO. Welcome to the Tuesday, May 28th community call. So, for those of you that are new to this call, we typically go over what's been going on in the MakerDAO universe for the last week. And sometimes we have a guest, sometimes we don't. This week we do not have a guest, so the call might run a little shorter than usual. But nevertheless, if you are interested in being a guest on the community call, feel free to reach out to me. You could find me anywhere. Just Google David Utro. I'm sure you'll find me on Rocket Chat, on Twitter, wherever you like. So yeah, hit me up. Always interested in seeing interesting projects in the DeFi space, specifically ones that are working with Dai. So come on down. So this week we have a couple of things that are going on. So let me cover real life events first. And actually, Mariano, since you're here, do you want to cover some of the stuff that's going on in South America, if there's anything going on?
Yes, it's not precisely about South America, but well, we partnered with a company here called Experimental, the guys from the game Crypto Wars, and we are working to implement DAI on their game. They will be presenting the game also at the conference called Crypto Chicks in Toronto, Canada.
That's the experimental guys, right?
That's correct, yes. And yesterday we were working with them to hopefully develop a new set of things with DAI inside the game, but not just an in-game currency, right? Yes, we are working on pretty cool things around how to, for example, connect DeFi with gaming, and
Mhm.
we are starting to develop several options inside the game that I think it will be groundbreaking, and hopefully other games we will implement this too. So I'm really excited about it.
Yeah, I remember the guy from Axie, Jiho, he was telling me, he's like, yeah, we want to have like inside of the game itself, like a MakerDAO CDP portal. And I was like, oh, you could do that. That's interesting.
There's a lot of things. In fact, we were thinking, like, for example, we'll MakerDAO as a layer one, let's say,
Right.
uh, DeFi as a layer two, and now decentralized gaming also as a layer three, all
Hmm.
like being interconnected and intertwined, right? You can create different products inside the game with the narrative of the game, right? But
Yeah.
obviously, leveraging all the DeFi things that we are seeing right now. So it's like pretty exciting.
Yeah. Hilariously, I think that like Dai and DeFi and all that kind of stuff, they're like in such a good position to like become like facilitate like entire economies, like virtual economies, right? Like I don't know if you've ever played like the game Second Life, uh,
Yeah.
but like imagine that, with like real money, real banks, real everything, and like people have jobs in the game and they earn real money.
Oh
Like
yeah. Yeah, totally true. And also, games allows you to try like different things. For example, I guess Glenville from Radical Exchange will be pretty happy to see that maybe hamburger tax and that kind of things can be
yeah,
implemented in the game too, right? All with
yeah.
smart contracts. No, like you don't have like convince any government or something. We can try it right now on one game and to see the outcomes, right, of that.
Yeah, right on. Absolutely. Yeah, I'm actually super excited about the gaming space, like in general. That's something I really look forward to
Yeah.
seeing how it develops over the next 10 years.
Yeah, me
But
too.
yeah, nice. So you're saying that there's an event with them and Crypto Chicks, and that
Yeah,
is where is that? Is that in Canada?
it's Canada. Yeah, it's
It's Canada.
Canada.
Okay.
Yeah, and they have a pricing guide. They will be presenting other features of the game, and hopefully, I know people will like the game very much. I don't know if you kind of Clash of Clans.
I have not played Clash of Clans. I've seen too many advertisements about it, so I am like vehemently against it.
Yeah, I know, me too. But well, that's the type of the game.
Yeah, I gotcha. Cool. Nice. Nice. All right. Nice. Lenka, I see you've popped in. Do you want to cover some of the stuff that's going on in Europe this week? It's okay, Lenka. I'll cover it for you. All right. So today, actually, in Copenhagen, Lenka is doing FinTech Tuesday, and I think that's I don't know. I think it's a monthly event. Am I right about that, Lenka? I don't know if you have a mic, if you can hear me.
Hi guys.
Hey.
Gustav is most likely right now finished with his talk at Copenhagen FinTech, and this is like a series. And this edition today at the Copenhagen FinTech Lab was about applied blockchain and smart contracts. So we had 3 speakers, and Gustav was one of them representing Maker.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
I just need to find the document.
Here, I got you. I'll post the link in the chat.
Thank you.
Are you going to any of these events, or are you hanging out in home base in Copenhagen?
If it's okay, just a moment. I'm really sorry. I'm kind of unprepared right now.
All right.
Sorry, where did you? In the chat?
Yeah, I put it in the chat.
Okay. Is there anyone else, or is it just me? Is it stuck with me? I don't want to slow you guys down.
No. It's fine. We're just covering events right now, and we don't have a guest this week, so it's
Okay.
a pretty chill call. So we're just gonna go through the agenda, open it up to
Okay.
Q&A if anybody has any. But yeah.
You know what? Let me do this. Let me just speak from my document here for our schedule,
sure.
what is happening in Amsterdam, because I'm actually leaving there this weekend. So basically, there will be a big event called Money 2020 Europe edition. It will be happening on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. We will have a booth there, and we will have an interesting way to actually get the 6,800 participants to actually get a hold of their first stablecoin in the most cases.
Ooh, what are you guys doing?
We'll be using, as swag bags for any event goers. There will be a flyer from Maker with a QR code that uses Connext. Those are the guys that created Dai Card payment channel. So we'll be testing this technology in order to give away free Dai for the people who claim
Is it the Masendo wallet? Is it that
Well,
same wallet, or is something
I learned
separate that also
about
uses Connext?
I learned about Masendo later, but they're using Connext open source technology.
Nice.
So Dai Card was, let's say, the first application.
Got it.
And we will be basically tweaking it to Money 2020. So people will just hit one button, it will send an email, and then we'll claim that request link with one Dai. And this is basically the setup. So really excited to find out how this goes in real life with different audience, being more like payments and fintech and more, corporate people. So I'll take Nikolai and Lasse from integrations team with me. Yes, and besides this, there's as it always happens, happen to be a blockchain week with satellite events. So there will be a Dutch blockchain week. And we are currently having 3 different occasions when we'll speak. First one will be on June 3rd, on Monday. There'll be a meetup on just one second. Yes, it'll be a meetup on different token models, and we'll have a panelist there. Then on Tuesday, no, it's Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Sorry, so this is on Tuesday. On Wednesday, we have a DeFi edition of Blockchain Talks. That's like a local event that's happening there. We'll have Lasse in a panel. He'll even be in Shark Tank as a judge, so that'll be interesting. And general topic will be DeFi, collateral, different, anything DeFi related. So it will be really exciting to discuss that. And then on Thursday, we'll have another type of events where our local maker buddy, Adrian Labas, he'll be speaking at the developer focused meetup.
Nice.
So basically the event is themed stablecoins for developers. So we have something to different kinds of audiences beyond those people that go to Money 2020. So this is something that I'm preparing for and looking forward to have actually 4 people in the town at that time. And yeah, I think this is the next week for us, the biggest thing that's happening.
Yeah, Adrian's awesome. He was in New York for Blockchain Week for a few weeks. Me and him hung out a bunch. Good dude. Yeah, nice. Cool. Sounds like a eventful Blockchain Week over there in Amsterdam.
It is.
Nice, right on. Cool. So I'm gonna cover some of the other events that are going on in Japan today. We have Kathleen, one of our community managers, participating in Plasma Chamber times MakerDAO hands-on workshop. So it's a workshop that focuses on how to use Plasma Chamber, developed by Crypto Economic Labs and Dai, and they're trying to create a new payment app. So that's pretty cool. In Korea, yesterday, Do, our rockstar community manager from Korea, he participated in ETHCon Korea 2019. I think he he had a talk there, and from what my understanding is, it went well. On the 31st, in just a few days, Do is going to be at the Korea Society of Information Technology Applications, the 2019 conference, and he's going to be participating there as well. And then the only other meetup has already been mentioned by Mariano. It's the Crypto Chicks conference and hackathon in Canada, and that's running from the 31st to June 2nd. And also, all of the links to these events are in the agenda doc if you guys want to dig into it a little bit more. All right, so that's it for events. I'm going to run through some of the other stuff that's going on in the maker world. So first, I'm going to go through some of the things that are going on in governance. So last week on our Thursday governance and risk call, we had Chris Bradbury from the design and product team come on, and he talked a bit about the governance portal, how we're planning on actually changing governance polling, and how we want the community's feedback on the design of the UI. And so with that, he actually posted a Reddit post basically outlining all of this. But at the same time, we also came out with a new domain that makes it easier for our community members to give us feedback on the front ends. So if you go to feedback.makerdao.com, you could post feature requests, you could post bug notices, and you can even upvote and downvote other people's suggestions as well. So it's a cool little forum for anybody who's interested in giving some good feedback to go and post. So definitely feel free to utilize that. In other news, we posted our governance and risk meeting summary. So every week now, just a couple hours after the governance and risk call, we post a very detailed summary with a bunch of video link anchors. So if you don't have time for the full call and you still want to get an understanding of what's going on, or if you want to see some certain section that you enjoy most, you could feel free and check out that thread and look at what you're interested in and take a watch. But the whole call was great, and it was super valuable. I think I learned something there every single week. So yeah. Now for votes, we had an executive vote on the 24th on Friday to lower the stability fee by 2% to a total of 17.5%. So this is the same executive vote that happened the week prior on the 17th. And so because executive votes are not limited by time, they work on continuous approval voting, we actually didn't have to change the vote. It's actually the same vote as last week, and people can continue to vote on it. Which at the moment, it still seems like there is not enough MKR interest to turn that vote into a successful, into a passing proposal, basically. So we're seeing something around 35,000 MKR kind of in there, but to protect the original proposal, there's around 115,000 MKR. So this is...
David, take a look at the numbers. They're different now in the last few minutes.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's 78,000 at 19% and 74,000 for 17.
Oh, Wow, that's exciting. That's really cool. Yeah, thanks for bringing that up. Yeah, so it looks like there's only around 3,000 MKR that's going to tip this vote to 17.5% a year. So we might actually see a lowering of the stability fee this week, which is really cool. I wasn't expecting that. I think that because there was a pretty strong case made in the community, particularly by Vishesh, for kind of a wait and see approach. There was some delay or indecision by MKR holders on what they wanted to do, and it looks like somebody from the original proposal moved their MKR into the 17.5% option, which is really cool. So governance in action, people, awesome. Is there still 12K in the polling? Yeah, there is. So if the guy from the polling vote actually removes, he could actually turn the vote right now. Yeah, it's done. Yeah, exactly. So in terms of sentiment, we see that this is probably going to go through. Nice. All right. So and besides that, there was also a governance poll that was put up yesterday on Monday with our regular cadence. So we put the governance polls up every Monday. And so there are the usual options in the governance poll. So it's -4, +4, and then keep it. So there's 9 options, basically from lowering the stability fee by 4% all the way up to increasing it by 4%, and all in 1% increments. So MKR voters can go and vote for what they support. But at the moment, it looks like the executive vote is what you want to take a look at. But either way, good things are happening. This is really exciting to see. All right. Moving forward, some notes on partnerships. So we have a partnership with Experimental, which is a gaming company, and they plan to integrate Maker's Dai stablecoin into Crypto Wars, which is what Mariano was talking about earlier. And players are going to be able to purchase skins and other assets using Dai, and all the prizes are going to be awarded in Dai as well within the game itself, and all their sort of giveaways and things like that. So MakerDAO is actually going to be sponsoring 9 different Crypto Wars tournaments, beginning with the event that's happening with Crypto Chicks that I mentioned earlier. And there's going to be 200 Dai prizes up for grabs. So yeah, if you're interested in video games, check it out. Also in the news this week, Dai is now available on Coinbase, not just Coinbase Pro, and they also added an ETH Dai pair, which is really cool because I think a lot of the community on Twitter specifically was really asking for that, and Coinbase listened, which is cool. All right, moving forward, we have also an update on the road to multi-collateral. There was a new Kovan release, the V0.2.6, and so I linked a couple of the release notes. The main changes were to the MCD CDP portal, to the governance dashboard, and to the test chain DSS deployment scripts. And actually, the next update is going to be changing testnets. So we are going to be moving from Kovan to Go Early. I hope I am pronouncing that right. But yeah, we're moving to a different testnet, and for a couple different reasons. There's it's just a more stable network. A lot of people have moved off of Kovan, and yeah, I actually think that Petru covered it in what was it? The community call from a couple weeks ago, if you're interested in a better answer than I just gave. But yeah, so we're expecting the 2.7 release to happen on the 31st. So actually just in a few days, on Friday, we're expecting it tentatively. All right, cool. So besides that, I already mentioned that we are piloting a new way for design feedback on feedback.makerdao.com. So I'm not going to talk about that too much since I already mentioned it. We also put out a blog post called Defying Tradition, How MakerDAO Helps Cultivate the DeFi Ecosystem. And it goes a little bit into different partners that we've taken on this year, and and basically how all of these sort of third-party and like independent DeFi projects are creating solutions for CDP holders. They're creating solutions for people who are saving in Dai, and in general, we're just kind of giving an update and seeing how DeFi is blossoming into the awesome thing that it is. Yeah, that's it for official stuff, like off of our blog and partnerships and governance stuff. Next, I'm going to run through the highlights from the community. And so before I do that, if anybody has anything, any questions, anything that they want to ask or bring up, feel that I've missed, feel free
I
to
have two questions.
Yeah, Kiva, what's up?
So one is that Steven said at a conference recently that there are now 300 integrations.
Yeah.
So what I'm wondering is, what percentage of those integrations are already live in deployment?
That is an amazing question. I don't think I can answer that personally off the top of my head, but and I actually know that not all of the partnerships are listed in Awesome MakerDAO, even though we try to list them kind of as they're publicly announced. But a large portion of like the integrations are still not public, so it's really hard to say. I'd probably save that question for Greg if when I get him on the call. But that's a really great question. I'm actually going to write it down for Greg. What was your other question?
What's the status on the Coinbase custody integration for voting?
Well, since they did the Zeppelin audit and found that bug in the original DS Chief, they did an additional audit through Zeppelin on the new chief before it was actually deployed, and then we deployed it. And I don't know what the status is now, but I assume that that things should be moving ahead. Yeah. But again, yeah, I don't know. I'm not part of those conversations actively, but yeah, I don't know. I expect that, my guess is as good as yours, but I think things are moving ahead, uh, especially since we were able to plug that vulnerability that they found. All right. All right. So how many of the integrations are actually live? All right. Cool. So I'm gonna ask Greg that and have a better answer for you. All right. Cool. So moving forward, some highlights from the community this week. The guys from CDP Saver now have a mobile-ready version. So I really hope to see CDP Saver in some of these wallet apps like Coinbase Wallet and others, because it's a really, really pretty interface, and you guys should check it out. They also have a CDP marketplace live on mainnet, so you can actually sell your CDP if you're in distress, or if you want to avoid. Well, yeah, if you're in distress and want to avoid like a liquidation penalty, it's a really good tool to use if you can get people to actually buy it. But either way, yeah, CDP Saver is making moves. There was a couple of really good articles. There was one that came out today that I didn't get a chance yet to read by JP Koning, revisiting stablecoins, and I've seen the comments saying that it's a really good piece. There's also an article on SportX, which actually, so I wasn't sure whether to include them into our partnerships because they actually self-integrated Dai. So Akiva, something to also take into consideration is that uh, like I don't know if Steven's number includes projects that have self-integrated. It might, uh, but either way, yeah, SportX completely independently added Dai as the sort of base currency of their entire platform. And so they put out an article how SportX plans to supercharge Dai adoption. And then, yeah. Then another article that came out was crypto credit and lending platforms. Are your funds safe? And it was a article by Hassan Nas, who's the founder of Nas Capital, and he basically talked a bit about the risks involved in using secondary lending platforms and crypto credit platforms, which should be something that everybody considers as a person that puts value into these things, because DeFi is still very much experimental technology. It's nascent and there's a lot of development happening, so you never know what real kinds of risks you're exposing yourself to, especially when you consider technological risk, because you never know what might happen. And so, always be cautious of that. So yeah, besides that, there was a bunch of great threads on Reddit this week. There was a thread that I posted called "What's a mistaken or odd thing you've heard about MakerDAO?" And so the reason I posted this thread was actually because I'm working on a document that kind of answers like sort of odd questions, misinterpreted viewpoints, like statements that kind of incite like that fear, uncertainty, and doubt. And like a lot of them were really, really good suggestions. So if you guys have any like interesting things that you think I should include in this document that we're trying to just give answers towards, feel free to. And a couple of the examples of those include things like this. So as the stability fee is changed, why aren't changes to the DAI peg obvious and quick? Right? Like people always expect very, very fast reactions to stability fee changes, which it's not always the case. Evidence that the peg is influenced by stability fee changes is small. Erratic stability fee increases do more harm than good. Market forces will fix the peg on their own with no intervention needed. MakerDAO won't work because it's too complex. The plutocratic nature of MakerDAO governance is evil, and so on and so forth. So sort of these kind of narratives and comments and questions, like I want to have a good answer, like a good, reasonable, well balanced answer that takes into consideration like the fact that they might be right, and if they are right, what does that look like? But in many of these cases, the questions are a bit just based off of a misunderstanding of a couple of things, and we want to give answers. So I think I've rambled on enough about that. Feel free to comment in there and add anything you'd like to see an answer from us to. Yeah. All right. There was also a Reddit post called "New Major Method for Being Able to Realize ARB for Dai in the Future." And it was a bit of an answer to the old Hasu article that was made pretty infamous about how there is no such thing as perfect Dai ARB in the same way that there's US dollar ARB. And so this guy did a pretty high effort post, worth reading. There was also a survey, would you lend Dai to emerging market borrowers? And so this is actually one of our community members, geez, I forgot his name. Sorry for forgetting your name. But he's working on a unsecured small loan platform for people in emerging economies. Basically, microloans that are not collateralized. And so I don't know if you guys know anything about it, but I remember reading a couple of years ago that they actually have pretty low default rate, and like they're relatively good loans, and they're actually really, really great for sort of emerging economies, and they really help eradicate poverty, and like there's a lot of good to microloans in general. So it was a really interesting project, and so he posted a survey on Reddit, and I think that you guys should definitely check it out. Hold on, sorry, I got distracted because I got a message. Apologies. All right, cool. So, and then lastly, there was a post by the, I think he's the founder of PublishOX. Yeah, it's this guy Dan Bainbridge, and he posted on our Reddit a wanted sort of thread asking our community for content explaining Dai, and that basically he's paying for it, and he's willing to dish out, I think, something like $2,000 or $3,000 to writers who are willing to publish on PublishOX, which is pretty cool. And I think PublishOX, he was talking about having Dai as a base currency on it, so you could tip people in Dai, and you could basically, it's a similar version of, it's a similar thing to Steemit, but it's on Ethereum, and he is very, very bullish on Dai and wants to integrate it. So yeah. And besides that, there was also the video from from the Token Summit NYC 2019, where Stephen Becker and the moderator talk a bit about stablecoins and the future of MakerDAO. So yeah, that covers all the stuff I had in today's agenda, and today's call is going to run a little short. So I'm going to open up to you guys. If you have any questions, comments, things you guys want to touch on, feel free to mention it now. And I also apologize because I am slightly sick today. All right, cool. Well, thank you guys for coming. Appreciate you guys every time you get here. We will see you next week on Tuesday. And next week on Tuesday, I do have a guest. It's going to be Petro Katana again, and he's going to be going over some cool MCD stuff, specifically Dai.js and something else. But he's going to be going over Dai.js in multi-collateral Dai, and I believe something else, but I am blanking out on that right now. So yeah, see you guys next week. Thank you for coming.